Saints going all the way, Saints going all the way. Kumbaya, this the Who That Nation. Game on the line, you can bet we take them. Go black and gold, black and gold. Don't stop, boy, we trying to win the Super Bowl. We rock and roll, rock and roll. Touchdown, go Saints, we gonna do it some more. We rock and roll, rock and roll. Touchdown, go Saints, now give me some more. Now, who that, who that, holla, who that, who that, holla, who that, who that, holla, who that, who that, who that, who that, who that nation. Black and gold, black, black and gold. Oh yeah, fast up. Black and gold, black and gold, black, black. Who that, who that? They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready for us. They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready for us. They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready for the black and gold, black, black. Who that, who that? They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready. What up? They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready. What up? They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready for the black and gold, black, black and gold. Game time, baby, and I go for the Saints.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
What's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast, giving you the State of the Saints podcast post-game show brought to you by Manscaped.com and DraftKings.com. The final score, the New Orleans Saints getting it done by a score of 16-15. The New Orleans Saints move to 1-0 on the season. Derek Carr gets his first win as the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, and the Saints defense proves that it's one of the best in the entire league. This game is, boy, I tell you, this is one of them games that, just like many Saints games, will keep you on the edge of your seat. It's one of those games that had a little bit of some issues when it comes to anxiety flaring up. People had to get their blood pressure medication. I mean, it was touch and go. The New Orleans Saints, I got to tell you, I know some people, you're excited about the win, and you should be. Anytime you win a game, you should be excited about it. But the Saints got some issues offensively that they need to figure out, especially when it comes to the offensive line. And I know some Saints fans may not want to hear that because some of you, like, when the Saints win, you feel like nobody needs to say anything at all. But then when they start losing in the same situations I'm talking about right now, you come crying and want me to open up the phone lines, TJ. Open up the phone lines. I got something to say. Open up the phone lines. No, this is the same situation that happened last year when you had a bunch of issues that plagued the New Orleans Saints, and because they beat the Falcons and we got all excited because they came back from 16 points down, then all of a sudden we don't want to talk about that no more. But here's the reality. The Saints offensive line looked like slaw. I'm going to say that again. The Saints offensive line looked like slaw. Derek Carr in the red zone looked like slaw. I am not going to be clouded and put the rose-colored glasses on because the Saints won this football game. I am sick and tired of having the optimism that this team can get the job done only for us to be sold wolf tickets here. I will say this. The Saints defense today looked outstanding. If it wasn't for the Saints defense, if the Saints didn't have a defense that generated 3 turnovers by their secondary, if the Saints didn't have a special teams that got a block punt, I tell you this, we will be having a completely different story. Oh yeah, I got to mention this too. If Ryan Tannehill was not the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans, we would be having a completely different story. Well, TJ, we won, man. Why you sitting up here talking about the team, man? Why you criticizing the team, man? You ain't no real Saint fan, bro. I knew it all along, man. You ain't real. I am not going to be fooled by what I see. This offensive line looked like trash. And this defense, we already knew was going to be pretty damn good. Who went into the season in 2023 thought that the Saints defense wasn't going to be good? Somebody tell me that. Put it down in the chat. If you went into 2023 and thought that the New Orleans Saints defense wasn't going to be good, put your name in the chat. We all knew that this defense was good. We all knew that the Saints had some really good, talented players. We all knew that Brian Burzee looked pretty good. We all knew that the Saints had athletes on the interior. We knew this. The biggest issues was the offensive line, and can Derek Carr overcome his red zone woes? And to be honest with you, he has not. But of course, the body is musty, but we spray on a few squirts of cologne, and now we think we smelling good. No. The Saints have to fix this issue. Trevor Penning was getting beat to sleep. Do you hear me? He was getting beat to sleep on the line of scrimmage. And guess what? I heard Dennis Allen's press conference. The question that the media asked Dennis Allen, they asked him, are you concerned? Are you concerned with Trevor Penning? Are you concerned? His answer was very vanilla. I'm talking Baskin-Robbins vanilla. Yeah, I believe in the kid. Let me tell you something. Like, I ain't got nothing against Arden Key. We all know Arden Key is pretty good. He was good at LSU, but he ain't no world changer. He ain't no all-pro around this thing. If he becomes an all-pro, God bless him, but he is not an all-pro at this stage in his career. And guess what? The Saints have a really good pass rusher in the Carolina Panthers that's coming to town. Well, they're going to Charlotte next week. That is going to be lined up across from Trevor Penning, and he's better than Arden Key. You got Matthew Judon in a couple of weeks, who is much better than Arden Key. You can believe what Dennis Allen is trying to sell you right now, but I don't. Until Trevor Penning proves otherwise, I'm going to continue to say this. He will be a much better guard than left tackle. I used the example at halftime when I mentioned Pete Skoranek. Pete Skoranek was a first-round draft pick out of Northwestern. Really good left tackle. First team all Big Ten. I mean, didn't give up a sack, I don't think, in his career. Maybe one or two throughout his entire time at Northwestern. All those statistics tell you he'll be one hell of a left tackle. But did Tennessee, when they drafted him, did they put him on the left side, make him a left tackle? No, they did not. They put him on the inside at guard. Somebody please tell me. I mean, I watched Pete Skoranek the entire game. I'm pretty sure he scored pretty damn high when it came to his offensive line play at guard. I'm not buying anything that Dennis Allen is saying to me when it comes to Trevor Penning. I'm not saying Trevor Penning can't be good. I hope that somebody rewind this tape one day and tell me TJ eat crow. But as of right now, and everything that I've seen from last year, from this year, he struggles when it comes to hybrid defensive ends who can have a little wiggle to them. They can bend real low. Arden Key was getting into the backfield so fast, Trevor Penning couldn't even put his hands out. By the time Trevor Penning put his hands out, Arden Key was already sacking Derek Carr. Miss me with the Trevor Penning talk at this stage. If we talking week 8, week 9, and Trevor Penning turns a corner and he becomes one of the best left tackles in football, run this tape back. I will be glad to eat the crow. But as of today, that ain't it. That is not the move. I mean, in the second half, the reason why it wasn't getting as bad as it was in the first half is because you had Juwan Johnson and other tight end chipping Arden Key and the guys that were on that side to make sure that they help out Trevor Penning. That is a huge issue. Another issue, was the running game. Now, I will say this. I'm not going to continue to beat up on the running game because if you follow the Tennessee Titans, you already know that they're a pretty damn good football team. You already know. Okay? So, at the end of the day, I apologize. I got a text message here. When you look at what's going on with the Tennessee Titans, they're a really good football team. Their ability to stop the run, their ability to be able to wreak havoc in the backfield. So I'm not mad at that. And you got to think about Mike Vrabel's background. Mike Vrabel's background is in defense. I mean, he was a really good player for the New England Patriots back in the day. So I'm not going to knock him because of that. But I will say this. I need to see improvement next week. when they take on the Carolina Panthers on Monday night. If I don't see improvement, because when I look at the defensive line of the Carolina Panthers, I mean, they ain't no world beaters out there. And right now, they're trying to transition from a 4-3 to a 3-4. And from what I've seen today against the Atlanta Falcons, don't seem like it's working out that well. But Saints get a win. A win is a win, right? So at the end of the day, I guess we should be proud of that, right? But I'm happy they got the win, but I am not impressed at what I seen on certain sides of the football. Defensively, I was impressed. I was impressed with the defense, but the offense, no, sir. No, sir. Not impressed at all. And I don't care who gets mad. I really don't. I don't care who gets mad. I don't care if you're watching this and you're steaming right now. I can care less because I'm asking you to go toe-to-toe with yours truly right now. Call when I open up the phone lines. Call me up and give me an excuse as to why you think that Trevor Penning is the answer. And what you've seen based on what he has presented to you. See, we get clouded because we see a guy may have maul a play or he finish a play strong, but he getting his ass beat in the trenches. Then all of a sudden we won't call up. I'm asking you, please call up and tell me that you feel like this is the answer. This is it. And I don't care. Don't give me that week one crap. Because if the Saints, man, my goodness, don't give me that week one crap. Don't give it to me. Don't give it to me. I don't want it, man. It's only week one. No. Don't give me that week one stuff. Because I'm watching right now. I'm looking at the Philadelphia Eagles beating the hell out of the New England Patriots 16-0. Then week one, Jalen Hurts wasn't out there. You didn't see half of that offensive line out there in preseason. So miss me with that stuff about his week one. We say that stuff in order for us to put our own mind at ease. We just want to be calm. Like, nah, bro, that ain't it. You are not going to find success. You are not going to be successful as a team, as a staff, as an organization, as a mother-loving crew if you continue to play like that on the offensive line. Because your defense is not going to be able to generate 3 turnovers in the secondary, and you're not going to be able to get a block punt every single game. It just ain't happening. The ball kind of fell into the Saints' favor offensively because the defense kept giving them opportunities to correct the mistakes that they did. But what happens if they play a pretty decent offense that's able to move the ball down the field and scores on them? Then what? Then what are we going to do? That's all I want to know. I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines because, ladies and gentlemen, we had some technical issues when it came to Bleacher Report. So I'm going to be going live after this right here. So we're not going to be long on this show, but I am going to take some of your calls. I'm going to take maybe like 2 or 3 phone calls because I got to get over to Bleacher Report in a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone line, hear what you got to say. I'm taking 3 calls right now. So whoever the first 3 in there, that's who we gonna roll with. But in the meantime, let me read some of these comments. It says, so did San Francisco play great week 1 against Pittsburgh? No excuses. Exactly. I mean, San Francisco looked good. Philadelphia looked good. But here's the thing. And for people to be like, well, that's Philadelphia. That's San Francisco. They were in an NFC championship game. Well, riddle me this. Aren't all of us feeling like the Saints are capable of going to the NFC Championship, a Super Bowl, or the playoffs, or having a deep run in the playoffs? So that is the difference between good teams and great teams, and then you have teams that make excuses, and then you have fan bases who make excuses about those teams when those teams don't do what they need to do. Sorry, folks. If you want the watered down version of Saints football, they got a channel for you somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but it damn show ain't here. For real. If we gonna sit up here and talk about the Saints are a legit contender, if we gonna whine and boo-hoo at every Nick Wright and any other talking head in the world when they don't give the Saints the credit, well, guess what? The reason why we want the Saints to have that credit is because we feel like they're good. We feel like they're capable of getting out of their own way in 2023. But guess what? The way they played in the first half and the way that they play when it comes to the offensive line, that is not a team that is getting out of their own way. That's a team that still continues to stay in their own way. I'm happy. Once again, I'm happy about the victory. I'm satisfied about it. Hope you happy about it. But at the end of the day, that ain't the move, bro. That is not the move. It is not. Offensively, that is not the move. A lot of, like I said, if your body is musty or a musty body, you spray 2 squirts of you know what I'm saying, some Mr. Miyagi on yourself, you still stink. Hey, I don't care what you talking about. Squirt, you're still musty, period. We're going to go to God of Creation. God of Creation, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you today?
I'm doing all right, man. What you got for us?
It was a rough game. I expected this. I'm not. You know what? I'm not really mad about this game. The offense was kind of shaky, but I will be devil's advocate and say, when the time came during that our last drive, we made some plays. So so it was a rough game. Obviously they do need to fix things. Trevor Penning, he needs to working on his technique and his self. We needed. I feel like we do need to be more creative with our runs. Also, we don't want to telegraph Taysom Hill. There's a lot of things we could do better on offense, but I will say that's just also credit to the Titans defense. We also got to remember they're a top 5 defense,
right?
But yeah, we do need to work on some things. But hey, we ran out of there with the W, and that's really all I was really looking for, TJ. Considering I think this is probably our hardest, if not the second hardest team we're gonna play, them and then the Jags of this year. So, I kind of expected this. I didn't expect us to come out and play perfect. We usually don't win week 1, so maybe that's why I'm much calmer. But yeah, there's definitely things we can work on.
Look, I understand that they played against the Tennessee Titans, God of Creation. That's like we understand the Tennessee Titans. Like you got some fans of other NFC South teams who talking about how the Saints look and how they barely beat. Like those are the type of fans that I don't really like to get into it with because they don't understand football. There's not
right.
like for real. Like seriously, you don't understand football, or you don't get it, or the fact that you don't want to give this team props. That's a really good football team in the Tennessee Titans. That's a team that was in the AFC Championship about 3 years ago. A divisional round was giving the Kansas City Chiefs all they wanted, right? That's the same team right there. That was a team, you know what I'm saying, that was playing against the Cincinnati Bengals a couple of years ago. So for all those people, man, y'all struggled against Tennessee. Look, out of all the NFC South teams, I'm dead serious. The Saints had the toughest matchup out of all of them. I don't care. Like, you can talk about Minnesota. Minnesota has a good offense, but their defense suspect.
They just lost.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm saying.
They just lost to the Bucks. People thought the Bucks were going to be terrible. They thought it was going to be a blowout.
Exactly. Carolina still got the first overall pick in Bryce Young. He trying to figure it out. The Saints had the toughest matchups out of all 3. The fact that the New Orleans Saints played smash mouth football defensively. The Tennessee Titans didn't score a touchdown. They kicked all field goals all day. So anybody that feels that way, you just hating. And you know that if you go up against the New Orleans Saints defense, your team, whatever they did today, I seen B. John Robinson had an incredible run, but they ain't doing that crap against the Saints, and y'all know it. They know, like, if the Saints figure out these offensive situations, they going on a damn run. The rest of these teams, they just trying to figure it out, and they had the luck of the draw going up against cupcake defenses and questionable offenses. Period. I don't care what you say. Like, miss me with that stuff, man. Next show.
I think that's what separates the NFC and AFC. A lot of AFC defenses aren't really very good, and a lot of NFC offenses aren't very good. But I also want to say last year, I feel like a game like this, replace Andy Dalton in that game, we would have lost that game. Me personally, we had a lot of games like this last year, and this is a game we would have lost. And I feel like this is exactly what we wanted. I don't expect no Derek Carr to beat Patrick Mahomes. I wish he can go out there and beat Patrick Mahomes. I wish, but this is all we wanted from him, is to be a guy who's not costing us the game. And during game time moments, we won the game because of them. A long pass from him to Rashid, the Jamal Williams first down. That literally turned us from being a winning team last year, because we could not actually make those plays. We didn't make those important plays last year. So I saw what I wanted to see, and it's during crucial moments we came up. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have the best game. Obviously, there's things we're gonna want to work on. That's a given. But I'm not gonna always exercise that point every time, especially if it's leading to wins. We get it, things to work on, blah blah blah, blase blase. But at the end of the day, they don't ask you how much you win by. They don't ask you what's all this. Did you win or lose? And we won, and that's what I love.
Okay, so what happens when they lose? Then we're gonna have these conversations.
Well, there's a difference between a win and a loss. Then you lose, because a win is a win and a loss is a loss.
Okay, so if they would have lost today, will we be having this conversation? Will we be having a different conversation?
You said would have. Well, no. If we go off ifs, then I can't go off no if. If we lose,
what happens next week? But what happens next week, God of creation? We
gonna see next week, right?
But why are we gonna sit up here and complain then? Why cry? You know what I'm saying? Why cry next week when it's pretty obvious what the issue is? So if they go up against the Carolina Panthers and Charlotte and lose for the same situation, Trevor Penning getting beat, can't score in the red zone, and you don't have the luxury of 3 turnovers, then we supposed to get on the State of the Saints podcast and talk about Trevor Penning.
Well, I will say this: the Titans and the Panthers are 2 different teams, so you're not going to have the same results going against 2 different teams.
Hey, that may not. That may be.
Titans would have destroyed the Panthers. So I bet money that 10 times out of 10 the Titans are beating the Panthers. So, but like I said, there's things to work on, but there's no point of dwelling in like you just work on the things you need to work on. That's it. Like we don't need to be in rage. Just like, okay, we gotta get better. And that's what you do. No point of like, oh my God, getting nothing to get upset. We got the dub. Get the dub. Work on the things we work on. Come back next week. Rinse and repeat.
I guess so, man. I guess God of creation, thank you, man. I appreciate the call, man.
Of course, man. Anytime, TJ. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way of looking at it, but I ain't rolling like that. Like I'm not one of those people that just gonna sweep something under the rug because we won. Like seriously, this is the same situation that happened last year, week 1 versus Atlanta. I'm not saying that it may not happen again, but that's all I'm saying. Like we get mad when things happen and it happens in a loss. Then they want me to have this energy, right? TJ, we lost, man. I can't believe this, man. The Saints, like, no. Look, once again, I'm happy that they got the win, but I am not like I ain't about to be sitting up here suspending my imagination and all that kind of stuff. This team has some issues. Number one, I feel like they need to utilize Taysom Hill a little bit more. I don't know if they did that because they wanted to put Derek Carr's mind at ease, and maybe they wanted to, cater to his ego. We need you, Derek. We need you. Taysom Hill is one of the best weapons in the entire game in the NFL. We heard this before, like the guys were saying on the telecast. This dude is like the best football player, period, like all-around football player probably ever. To be able to do so many different things. I'm not saying him coming to the game like we wanted him in a wild card game versus Minnesota, but I think you could utilize him a little bit more. And, like I said, the offensive line needs to improve. I'm not sitting up, like I said, man, I ain't about to sit up here and be, man, nah, bro. Y'all can do it, but I ain't. We're going to go to Josh. Josh, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, TJ? How's it going, man?
I'm doing just fine, man. What you got for us?
Okay, I got some things to say, but I'll keep it condensed for you because I know that you're in a rush here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had this whole thing planned to say to you, right? Because I thought you were going to do a pregame call-in show like you did all the time last year, right?
Right.
And I was going to have this unique take, and I know it's shocking that I have a unique take, right? Because I almost just never have unique takes, right?
Yeah.
But I was going to call in and tell you that our game plan should be not to plan for Derrick Henry at all, but to take full advantage of the mismatch situation we have with our secondary being superior to their receivers, to the Titans receivers.
Right.
And that would mean that Derrick Henry would get his money. He'd get 100, 150, maybe 200 yards, right? Couple touchdowns. But the theory behind my logic was a running back can't beat our entire offense by himself.
Right.
And there's a sample size for that because that's exactly how teams used to beat the Lions when Barry Sanders was around. They said, okay, you know what? Barry Sanders is going to get his money anyway, so we're just going to treat him like a normal running back, and we're going to make sure we shut down the entire rest of the Lions offense, right? And it almost always worked, right? Barry got his money, but, the Lions could do much outside of Barry. But then something happened, TJ. Then I watched this game.
Right.
And then I thought, okay, Derrick Henry probably can outscore our entire offense.
Yeah, I mean, dude, virtually unstoppable, man. To be honest with you, I feel like Tennessee did the Saints a favor because he wasn't really a huge factor. They wasn't really utilizing him that much. I don't know if they trying to cut down on his carries or the way that.
Well, he is 29 now. I mean,
yeah. So I'm like, man, can you imagine like if they would have really like used him? Like it probably would have been, a little bit. He probably would have really did some damage. I was trying to shock how much they used Tajay Spears in this game versus using Derrick Henry because every time he carried the ball, he found success. What he averaged like about 5 yards a clip. So I don't know.
But I was going to take you somewhere with this, TJ, and this is where I'm going to take you. Did you notice what I noticed? What I noticed is the same thing that I noticed last year. Opposing defenses seem to know everything we're going to do before we do it on offense.
Right.
I mean, they're just ready for everything. Every once in a while, we catch them with a surprise. Carr had a couple deep balls, whatever. Right. But for the most part, opposing defenses know what we're going to do before we do it. Right. And I've been saying, I said this all last year, and I'm still going to say it. I'm going to address the chat in a minute here because a lot of people like to clown on me for my takes, but there's one take I'm absolutely right about. You guys want to clown on me about Adam Prentice? Fine. You want to clown on me because I say Derek Carr might be as good as Joe Burrow? Fine. If I'm wrong about that, fine. Not the
game, but the have a take like that, Josh.
Right. But I am not wrong about Pete Carmichael. I'm not wrong about Pete Carmichael. Pete Carmichael has to frickin' go. He is the most predictable play caller in the NFL. I could outcoach Pete Carmichael. Let me tell you something. We could have the dream team right now, TJ. We could have Larry Fitzgerald, T.O., and Randy Moss as our starting receivers. We could have Barry Sanders and frickin' Priest Holmes in the backfield, and we could have a prime Aaron Rodgers as our quarterback, and we'd still go 7-10 because opposing defenses know what we're going to do before we do it. And the reason opposing defenses know what we're going to do, and the reason I could outcoach Pete Carmichael myself on an opposing defense is because Pete Carmichael always does one of two things. He either does exactly what he thinks Sean Payton would do in this situation, or he does the exact opposite of what he thinks Sean Payton would do in this situation in hopes of fooling the opposing team's defensive coordinator.
Hey,
He's always does one of those two. He's not hard to figure out at all. Everybody's got him figured out. So you could have the most elite squad out there ever. It wouldn't make a darn bit of difference. Our offense is going to suck as long as Pete's there. And that's my point today.
Yeah.
Forget about Trevor Penning. Trevor will improve. Even if he's not yet, he's not going to have another game like he had today. Okay.
I don't know about
with
that,
Pete,
I don't
with
know about
Pete,
that.
okay, let's say we have to replace Trevor, right? Let's say we bench him and we put someone else in next week. Still, with Pete, our offense is going to be the stuttering crap show that it is. And you saw today, he doesn't know how to really use the running game. Pete still doesn't, and that's the main point I wanted to make today. Get rid of Pete, bring in John Gruden. If we can't get John Gruden, just bring anybody not named Pete Carmichael in. That's where I'm at this point.
Yeah, I mean, look, I have to, look, I think Pete Carmichael do leave a lot to be desired. I ain't gonna lie about that. But Josh, I'm sorry to do this, man, but I have to go ahead and go. We about to switch over to Bleacher Report. I'm just asking everybody, so if you want to check out the live, you still want to be a part of the show, we're about to go live on Bleacher Report. Go to Bleacher Report, download the app. You can type in TJAY Jones 8. You'll see the live stream. Or you can, sign up, select the New Orleans Saints, and you'll be able to check out the live stream there. So we're going to switch over. We're going to handle our business over there at Bleacher Report. Then we're going to come right back, and we'll talk a little bit more about the game. All right, so y'all keep it locked. Appreciate it, Josh. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so y'all keep it locked. State of Saints podcast. We're about to switch over to Bleacher Report. All right, till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?